Welcome to Inside ITOM, short videos that dive into Output Manager topics and product highlights. This video does provide a quick overview of what ITOM is, but if you are not familiar with the product, I suggest watching the short video Introduction to Output Manager, also found on this channel. ID Blue Product Manager. Tivoli Output Manager for ZOS is a single integrated product that exploits your readily available ZOS capabilities, helping you avoid expensive proprietary approaches to output management. You may recall from the intro video I discussed some of the product highlights. This video will focus on formatted views and filters. Together, they allow you to create variations of existing reports by rearranging the appearance and filtering for specific data. This means you can create headings, show or hide columns, and change the order of columns to suit your needs and display what is important. Note, in order to use this feature, your report administrator must have it enabled within the ITOM config file and have formatted views defined. We will not dive into that level of detail here. Let's start at the home screen. First, we go in and select a report to look at, in its original form, without formatted views or filters. The online view shows the report broken into the same pages that you would see within an ISPF panel, and with the ability to mark ranges for printing or download, a topic for another video. You will see that page 1 is just a cover page and is unique from the rest of the report. Scrolling down, page 2 and beyond has a 19-line header at the top. This can be beneficial for paper reports, but is redundant for online viewing. This example will show how formatted views and filters work together to change the layout of the report and filter for specific information. Here, we'll remove the redundant header and filter the account column to display only the checking accounts. Notice when we highlight checking that the column information displays in the bottom browser bar. This is useful when specifying your formatted views and filters. This example and many others are shipped with the product help file for your training and testing purposes. Going back to the home screen, we can click on Edit Formatted Views and Filters. This displays a drop-down box for each that lets you select to edit, or you can create new. First, formatted views. Let's select example number 1 from our help files, which works off of the example bank report that we just looked at. You will immediately notice the General Properties section. This is pretty self-explanatory. You want to give your view a name to refer to. Plus, enter the fully qualified name of the archive or report that this formatted view will apply to. Note, the name must not contain any wildcards. The description is an optional field. Here we are telling it to skip the first page, because it is just a cover page that I don't care to see. The default is 0, don't skip any pages. And on the rest of the pages in the report, I want to skip the first 19 lines. Why? Because if you recall, this is just redundant header information that might make sense on paper, but not for online viewing, and reduces the amount of white space. You might also notice that some buttons are grayed out. This is because the logged-in user does not have administrator rights, and therefore some functionality is blocked. These include the Use as Default checkbox. Should this format be used as the default view each time the specified report archive name is opened? Carriage Controls checkbox. Do you want Carriage Controls to appear when using this formatted view? Filter. Select a predefined filter from the drop-down list to apply to this formatted view. There is an option to select No Filter if you do not wish to filter the data with this layout. Moving down, you can manipulate the layout further. You can even remove columns. In this example, since we eliminated the generic header, we have the ability to create a new Streamlined Header. We will add a 2-line header. Line 1 will be a short, sweet header to remind me that I'm displaying the rows where checking appears in the accounts column starting at column 46. The second line is a blank to create a sort of line break. Essentially, we are reducing that 19-line generic header down to a more efficient 2-line header. Now let's go back and take a look at the filter definition. Similar to formatted views, there is a General Properties section, name and description. The start and end line you usually leave blank so that you are filtering all of the data. Disposition is to include or exclude the filtered data and then specify your query string. In this case, the specification would read like this: at column 46, include data that contains the word checking. This is how we filter the data and tell the web viewer to only show the rows of data that are checking accounts as opposed to the savings or money market accounts. Filters can be expanded even further. In the ITOM help files, we have many examples of the syntax needed to help end users become familiar with how filters work. Another example would be filter data to only show deposits greater than $1,000, and so on. Now that we've defined our formatted view and linked our filter to the formatted view, we will go back to the report and select our example from the view list. Note, if an existing view is not displayed in the list, it may be necessary to refresh the page using your browser's refresh button or by pressing F5. The report or archive is now displayed according to the properties of the selected formatted view. And that's a quick peek inside ITOM. If you have further questions, please join our LinkedIn discussion group, and remember to check back to this YouTube channel for more technical topics.